By the way, let me message about this in stream promote. All right, seems good. The stream is, I wanna say, live. Yeah, there you go. All right. So yeah, welcome everyone for yet another edition of podcast, the second one. I make it to second one actually. So yeah, this time I have none other than one of the, how can I put it in not stupid way, but one of the unique uh, members of this community. And I don't believe that we will cast any matches together, but I hope that we will do this at RR17. And well, I mean, it is the Princess Daisy here. So Crazy for Daisy is here right now with me on podcast. So hello and welcome.
Hello, hello.
And I hope everybody can hear you. And if you're not, please say it in chat. But yeah, before any questions, of course, I need to address an elephant in the room about that
Yeah.
Daisy cosplay. About that Daisy cosplay.
Yeah.
That moment is carved on my brain, not because it was in the match against me and you did beat me flawlessly, but because that was so fucking good. So, can you like tell how it's why do you do that? I believe that's some kind of a bet or something like that. So, can you tell us about it? What was the bet or something?
Yeah. So essentially it was like at the end of the year I just did like my biggest streak of events with brackets and stuff.
Hmm.
And I just really wanted the community event award. Like to the point where I was like, "You know what? Like I know how to cross dress. So I'll just do that with Daisy if I win the award." And right next to me, I have the medal. Obviously, you can't see it because there's no webcam or something, but I keep it by my desk at all times. So it was just, just just a promise I made if people voted for me, and enough people did.
Okay, and was it hard to find the proper costume and gloves? The gloves was sick, man. They were amazing.
Yeah, no, actually the costume was fairly easy because there was two. I got the cheaper, but still a good looking one on
Hmm.
Amazon. And I know there's like another site that has like a more fleshed out, detailed dress, but I wasn't gonna spend that much extra money on it because I still need to buy like the makeup and the wig. So I was like, fuck man, like I gotta, cheap out on the costume a little bit if it's just for one day, one stream.
And yeah, and probably because of webcam, if you bought the more expensive one, it will not like translate correctly through a webcam because it's not like that. If you were to do this in person, it might be the case to buy a more expensive one, but not for this one, I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Maybe if I ever fly down to Europe and do RR Land, I'll show up, as Daisy. But also, airport security is going to be asking a lot of questions, but who the fuck cares?
Well, I mean, I think they will ask not the question, but autographs, signatures from you for that. So.
Yeah, signatures. I'll just stay silent, not to reveal my voice and pretend I'm the real Daisy, and it'll be all cool.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And now to the first actual question, and I want to make it like the permanent question for all of my podcasts. And the question is, who are Crazy for Daisy before Hitman, before Red Rivals, before anything of that happened? Who is Crazy for Daisy before that?
Okay, so there's like a lot of actions, growth, of like personality and all of that. So I'll try to answer like the best I can. But before I was crazy for Daisy on Hitman,
Mm-hmm.
I was a my hobbies included competitive Smash Bros tournaments and like rapping and producing.
Mm-hmm.
So like I had experience with, like I used to be drove around all the time to Smash Bros tournaments thanks to my mom. And at first I sucked. I sucked a lot, but that was during the time where I actually wanted to get good at a game. I got good enough where like, I got like ninth places, eighth places, and even
Mm-hmm.
like a first place where, there wasn't prize money, but they gave me like some candy, and then I gave it to my mom because she's the one who like drove me everywhere. So
Oh.
I felt like she kind of deserved it. Uh, yeah. So personality wise, I would say like it was kind of the same, except I joined the Hitman scene when I was 22. I'm 23 now. So there's just like obvious maturity changes and just, you you don't act the same in your 20s as you do a teenager, and if you do, then you have a problem.
Yeah,
So
exactly. Yeah, yeah, exactly. And you don't act like this, uh, what I'm trying to say. You don't like you did at your 20s when you're almost 30. So yeah, maturity is the thing actually. Yeah. So and so yeah, this is great about your moms. This is such a sweet story. And I want to ask you, why Smash Brothers? Like why this game is catches your attention? Like why this game is the game that you want to be competitive with?
so when I used to play Smash Bros, like I remember like when I was 6, I played Super Smash Bros Brawl, and
Mm-hmm.
I just picked Ike and only did neutral B against level 3 bots. But like I was obsessed with the game. And it's probably, one part autism, but also it's just the game is very, very mechanically, deep, any of them.
Mm-hmm.
But one day my brother he wanted this mod installed called Project M for Brawl, which essentially it adds a bunch of mechanics to the game that are from Melee, which is the second one. It also like removed a bunch of bullshit, added 2 new characters and a bunch of costumes.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a great mod for casuals as well, but you know, the thing is when you're playing a mod that includes stuff for competitive play, it makes you like, wait, there's like, tournaments, like at least enough where somebody like modified the game files of a different game because of, Melee. So I had to
Mm-hmm.
check that game out and played it casually at first, but over time, like my brother really, really wanted to join the scene and I was already playing the game every day, so why not, learn to wave dash and stuff. And eventually, like I said, I just played it more, went to tournaments, and it's just like I love the concept of 1v1 competitive games.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't really like team games too much. I don't want my teammates to like, do some fuck shit or I do some fuck shit and ruined over my teammate. Uh I want all the blame whether I win or lose on me.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that I feel like other than different fighting games, it's just like the movement is a lot better. Like I feel like Street Fighter feels like a tank. Uh and that's the theme with a lot of other fighting games, and the ones that feel smooth like Marvel versus Capcom or Soul Calibur feels smooth to me too. I just there still isn't as heavy of an emphasis on movement. It's a lot more on combos and setups and footsies. And there's that in, Melee and Smash Bros, but a big part of it is how you move around. And it's like just fun to go on training mode and just move. Like the
Mm-hmm.
fact that I could just have fun moving is, huge to me.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, Am I correct if I would say the Smash Bros. It's like the one when you trying to throw characters off the cliff or something like that? Like the idea of
Yeah.
it. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, because I'm not too familiar with this, so yeah. So well, that's a lot of things, and yeah, I think modding games is actually a great thing to keep it fresh. So because even with the Hitman with the Roid Rivals, well, it's essentially not the mod, but it's also keeping the game fresh for players. So yeah, I can see that. And speaking of which, how do you get to Hitman? Did you play any other Hitman games like the previous ones, or the World of Association is your first Hitman? Are you familiar with series? Like how about that? How is that all of that is happen?
Uh, for me, and I'm sure a lot of other people in the scene, it's Atrioc. He got
Mm,
introduced me to Hitman. Like I knew the game existed, but I didn't know how dope it was. So I watched his videos, and at the time, even though Hitman 3 was out, it was only on Epic, so I bought Hitman 2 on Steam. And by the time I was done with the campaign, Hitman 3 came out, bought that, and after I casually played, I was like, let me do my own uh, contract contest because I kind of always wanted to do something like host a tournament. I remember when I was younger, I wanted to, but the difference is with Smash Bros, you have to have a bunch of Wii's, a bunch of CRT TVs, which are the old school one from the
mm,
90s, and have a space to put all of that and then have to promote it where in person people have to drive over to said place. So there's just a fuck ton of shit you have to keep in mind. While with a online contract contest, I could literally just make a contract, post it up, and just receive submissions. So it's kind of a way to fulfill that dream that I had as a kid.
mhm. Yeah, I can see that. And speaking about Hitman, you just, I believe, today you signed up for RR17. So it's either today or yesterday. So, do you have any like hopes for yourself in this tournament? Do you have like any goals, like at least make it to knockout stage or whatever? Do you have feeling that you now playing better than you did on the previous tournament for you, which is I want to say was RR15, if I was correct?
The short end, fuck no. So essentially, like I just haven't been practicing at all. I really didn't touch Hitman like throughout the entirety of my hiatus.
Mm,
And originally, I wasn't gonna be in this tournament because I'm moving to Utah to live closer to my boyfriend.
mm,
Since I'm in Washington State, he's in Utah, so it's like, fuck, man. I want to take this to the next level. He's truly special.
mm,
So, because the move was on the 8th, which is the start of round 2, I believe, round 1, uh, I was like, I don't want to like, have to rush it or anything like that, but other people when they were concerned about the length of Swiss, they were like, "Oh yeah, you could skip rounds." So I just asked like, "How far can I take this? Like in my worst case scenario, am I still good?" And they said I was still good. And the second reason I stopped playing in tournaments was like mental health. So I
mm,
noticed this with Smash Bros too, where like I don't know if it's like when I'm in a down period, I draw towards competitive games, which is partly true. But when I am in a down period and play competitive games, when I like lose or fuck up in like a slight, way like everybody does, I
mhm,
just freak the fuck out in my brain. So it just, I just kind of like woke up and was like, I'm not having fun in tournaments. Why am I playing them? But
mhm,
since then, I've done a lot of shit to improve my mental health. Started going to therapy. I quit smoking weed. I became like, more dedicated to like the people in my life, my personal relationships, and a mix of all that. I'm hoping this tournament can prove that if all of that's in check, that the tournament experience will be good for me. So this tournament's kind of a test period. But like I'm not really practicing because the main goal isn't really to win or play good. The main goal is just to see how I kind of react in a tournament setting, whether I could go back to being quote unquote healthy or not.
Yeah, and yeah, the house is, yeah, it's one of the highly I forgot what I was trying to say, but yeah, health is, yeah, it's always important. So yeah, it's better to, to check on health than just participate in something. So yeah, I hope you will be good. So yeah, and well, actually, just a quick questions about RR17. Will you be casting any matches at RR17?
Most likely. I say
Oh.
that because I know during the move and the adjustment of the move, I'm not really going to be paying attention to roulette. In fact, like right now, my phone is like it's not a dumb phone like a real one, but I removed like, Instagram, YouTube, and even Discord. So
Mm,
during my move, if I want to check on Discord, I have to open up my laptop, turn on my hotspot. So I won't even know what's going on until like, I'm like there and all my computer stuff is set up. So I just but I say most likely because unless all the matches are, have casters and stuff, I always
mhm,
just like pick cast last. I don't really care which match I cast. It's
mm,
more of like a helping out the community thing now, even
yeah.
though I did love the attention back then. So if the casting does need help, I will, put in my help. And if, all the matches get casters quick, I'm not gonna fight over a match. So
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's probably yeah the reason why I am doing this because not because I'm lack of attention because I am working as an entertainer so I have a lot of attention from different people all the time so and yeah for me it's like to be like the reliable part of the small community and niche community so that's why I'm doing this and I try to improve and actually it's kind of surprise for me that I did it in that amount. So I casted like almost 40 matches in the previous RR, and that was a surprise for me because wow, that many. But they feel like the one. So yeah, I'm proud of myself, and I will do. I hope I will do exactly the same at RR 17, but we will see. We will see.
yeah.
And yeah, you briefly mentioned it already, and I wanna also mention it and speak a little bit about this. So you openly bisexual, and I think right now the perception, like the reaction to LG, for fuck's sake, LGBTQ plus people in United States, it's much softer than it was like back in the day, or much much better than in some other places like Russia, for example. So I want to ask you, did you have any troubles, at least in in the video game community, like if you, for example, going for Smash Bros. Tournament and someone did bring this up, like trying to get under your skin or something like that? Was it the case, or maybe in this community? Maybe there was any troubles or.
In the gaming community, no.
Mm,
Uh, so back during Smash Bros. When I was active, it sounds weird, but I didn't know I was bisexual.
mm,
Like I had like moments where I should have, connected the dots, but essentially when I thought I was straight, it was mainly just cuz I saw sexuality as a binary thing. You either like men or women. So I was like, oh, I like women, because, you know, but it's like I said at the time, because I thought that, I kind of just shut down whenever I did feel attraction towards a guy. I just thought like, oh, like I saw that guy has a nice ass, but I'm just admiring, like I just think he's handsome.
Mhm.
But it wasn't until I was in 11th grade, I think, there was a classmate named Silas, and I got to know him a bit more, and over time, like the way my attraction works is like as long as you're not like the most abhorrently like ugly thing to me, like physicality isn't really too much of a factor.
Mm,
It's when I start talking to you and start to get know like your values, who you are, what you like, that's when I really start building attraction, and
mm.
like when I really start caring. And I was like, why am I thinking about making out with my friend? Like I don't think I'm straight right now. So sadly nothing came of that because, he's straight, but I talked to him about it and we're both still cool today. And, the fact that he was like, "Oh, I'm flattered that you think I'm hot." It's like, "You are," but yeah.
Yeah, and I think, well, actually, yeah, it's obvious that I cannot feel that because I'm heterosexual. And so for me, it's probably much harder emotionally uh, to realize that you're bi or like homosexual or lesbian or queer, because it's not only that you can feel attraction to someone, but you feel an attraction to someone that you kind of not supposed to by the weird,
Yeah.
uh,
No, I get exactly what you're saying. Well,
yeah.
it's like you know, it's funny because like a lot of the homophobia I get, quote unquote, it's like people who you could tell they don't hate gay people, they're chill with them, but they just like read too many like or watch too many YouTube political videos or something, and
Mm.
it's like they kind of portray it as like, oh man, gay people are getting worshipped. And like even my dad was like, yeah, like don't you low-key kind of get worshipped for being bi? It's like, I wish I could just go down the street, people are on their knees, oh hail the cocksucker. But yeah, yeah, but it's funny because like, you really think about it, it's like when they say like, oh, gay people are like, heavily represented and whatever, it's like, okay, think about like five characters who are like gay and like known gay made gay, right?
Hmm.
You're probably struggling to some degree.
Hmm.
Now name five straight characters.
Yeah, that would be much easier.
Yeah, right? So it's I feel like it's starting to get it has started getting accepted in the 2010s, but it's still not like there's still like somewhat of an attitude of like, oh, like it's cool if you're gay, but like hide it from my media or something like that.
Hmm.
So there's still like a little bit of work, and I think a lot of the work has to go for transgender people.
Yeah.
As in my opinion, I think at least where I am, modern day America, it is the popular opinion to be transphobic. Like, if
Mhm.
you actually aren't transphobic, you're in the minority from what I experience. But I don't have any like stats or numbers to back that up.
Mhm. And yeah, about being transphobic, I believe the main argument for them is to discuss the sports. Like, imagine if this like man uh,
Yeah.
became a female and will do like the sports, like female sports. So that will be not fair. So that's probably the main argument for them. Well, at least that's I heard about the sports.
Yeah.
So.
All I really have to say on that part is first of all, like I'm not like, a sports expert, biology expert by like any means,
Mhm.
but from what I recall, and I could be wrong, like a lot of the records are quote unquote breaking are like high school or college records, and they get overthrown like fairly quick too, or at the same speed as they normally do.
Mhm.
But the main thing is like what it highly depends on the sport, because like weightlifting is going to be a lot different from tennis when it
Yeah.
comes to biological advantage, and there definitely still is some, but there's also like a pretty lengthy process, and you have to go through like a fair amount of hormones and
Mhm.
surgeries and stuff, or maybe not surgeries, but like you don't just go in an office and be like, hey, I want to be a girl. Like they're like, okay, first you have to take therapy for gender dysphoria, and then after enough time we could discuss if the cure is something that can be done with CBT, which is cognitive behavioral therapy, which is the most common type of therapy for nearly everything,
Mhm.
or if it's a case where transitioning would help you out with how you feel about you and your gender.
Mhm.
And then you have to like have a certain like level of testosterone and estrogen depending on which gender you're swapping to
Mhm.
be able to go in any serious sport league that accepts transgender people. So it's I feel like the argument of like, oh, some like loser who wants to get a title is just going to turn trans. I feel like that narrative is so gross
Yeah.
to both the amount of work it takes to even become your real gender, and the amount of work that is done involved to even play a sport as a transgender in any serious league.
Yeah. Yeah. But once again, that was I heard about the
Yeah,
yeah, about
I've
them.
heard that plenty of times
Yeah,
too.
but yeah, that is stupid actually. Yeah, that is actually. Uh, I forgot the question I want to ask. Fuck. There was some good question and I forgot it. Fuck. Uh, Holy shit. I am bad as a host for this. No. Uh, mm,
You're all good. You're all good.
well, all right. I will ask another. Oh no, no, no. I remember that. All right. Um, do you think? Well, my question about representation of LGBTQ plus community. Do you feel like that you are represented, or at least in this server, or you don't like you don't bother with it? Like it's okay if even you'll be the one like openly bisexual people in the server, and you would be okay with that.
Wait, are you asking like media or server?
Server,
Like
server, 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 server.
okay, okay. In the server, I think it's pretty well represented in like, respectful way. Like people can just be open about being bi or gay or whatever if they want to.
Hmm.
Uh I definitely feel like it's kind of like a slippery slope because like I feel uncomfortable when I go in a server and it's like, "Oh, pick your gay flavor tag." And it's like, I feel like that's something that you should learn through natural conversation and human experience. But
Yeah.
uh so I think like we do the best job of, what I want to see when it comes to gay acceptance in any community where it's not like it's not like seen as like, this like weird like role or thing. We're just seen as people, and
Hmm.
we're people who so happen to be, you know, differently romantic,
Yeah.
even if the core love is the same, just the, genders and everything with that love.
Yeah, exactly. And just a quick story, and we will move to the next topic. Was actually I was a homophobic for a short period of time. Well, not short, but for some period of time, because when you grew up in so much conservative country like Russia is, it's became natural that you would be homophobic. But then, probably at my first year at university, I'm just thinking to myself and like, who am I to judge? I don't really give a fuck in a good way. Like who you sleep with. So I and kind of like that. In one day, I'm just like, nah, I'm not homophobic enough. Not homo. Yeah. So and after that, I'm feeling pretty much better because I don't have hate in me. So
Yeah.
that's yeah. And so love is a love. So everything is cool.
Yeah, no. I mean, I get that too. I think like the only time I did have like a homophobic phase was like during middle school, just because like, that's when you get the peak of bullshit that
Yeah.
doesn't matter. So, like you get called gay and it's like the end of the world or something. So it's like, oh no, like, not that, but I don't know. It's weird because like growing up, there's a lot of shit that I just didn't give a fuck about. Like
Mm,
in that same good way. Like even like I said, like with gayness, I think the only time you should care is if you're trying to sleep with the person. Or like, you know, the whole like masculine, feminine thing is like for the most part, like I somewhat get it more now that I'm an adult, but at the same time it's like the whole like weird culture of like, oh, you have to be like hyper masculine or hyper feminine is dumb to me. And
yeah.
like it's hard for me to think of other examples, but there's just like a lot of little things that I kind of just looked at everything and made up my own mind. My parents kind of like grew up, wishing that for me as we grew up in my dad's side's Christian and my mom's side is atheist.
Mm,
So I kind of started off with like, oh, hey, like people have different views on things. Your dad would love it if you read the Bible, and your mom would not hate it if you read the Bible, but like definitely doesn't, approve of what they say.
mhm.
So you kind of have to, make up your own choice of who you are, what you believe, what you value.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And now let's switch the topic a little bit back to the Hitman. I want to ask you, what do you think is most ridiculous thing in Hitman, like in this trilogy? Like probably like most ridiculous bug or like glitch or something like that. So what is for you?
I think the most ridiculous thing is the entire like Sasso like system. Because like
Mm,
it's a good system gameplay wise. It focuses on gameplay, and that's like the most important part.
hmm.
But like you really think about it, like, wow, this dude just put a propane tank in front of this person, and oh my god, it exploded. What the hell? And like that guy's not gonna get any attention or
Yeah.
anybody's going to be suspicious of him. So, or like, oh, one bullet. Okay, I'm just going to look at where it got shot at. Oh, two bullets. I'm panicking. Oh, three bullets. I know exactly where he is. He's
Yeah.
across this entire state up in a tower at this exact location. It's like, it's just silly, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah. It doesn't make sense in the real life, but it kind of does make sense in the game. But yeah, the fact that some bald man in nice suit just, running around in the like private area or something like that, it is kind of silly. Yeah, I would agree with you on that one. Yeah, and yeah, the last time, I'm not sure if you watched or not my cast with Fraud. Fraud said that the panic shots is also, yeah, ridiculous, but the whole idea of body shots, like how they working, like if just imagine you was shot in the stomach and you just like, I should investigate and just running around.
Yeah.
So that's kind
And
of,
like,
yeah,
like civilian NPCs, they just like panic and run around. Guards, when you body shot them, it's the same as a triple shot.
yeah,
So I think if I got shot in the stomach and they were like an entirely different building a tower away, I don't think I would exactly know who shot me and where they are. Like, I think I'm more concerned about the fact that I just got shot.
Yeah, exactly. And now for um, probably two most important questions that once again I want to make it tradition and ask anybody on this one. So, what is your greatest achievement as a player, as a Hitman player? Maybe you can tell about your greatest achievement as a Smash Bros. Player, but mostly about the Hitman. What is your greatest achievement?
Yeah, because you're curious, I'll answer for both games.
Mm-hmm.
For Hitman, it definitely was my match against Paraplue. I lost that match, but it was a like I think like literally it went down to the last game and that last game photo finished. So it's literally as close of a game as you could get. And that was like the first time that I felt like I could actually be good at this game.
Mm-hmm.
Uh Obviously like I don't really care about that now and don't practice, so it's most likely not going to happen, but like just the fact that at the time I didn't get a single, match win. I only had a map win against Moo on Marrakesh, which that could also be a contender. But when I got so close to my goal of winning a match, it just like fired me up even more to like try to reach that goal. And after I did it with Peter Dunnan, which that one was sad because it ended on a photo finish draw like timeout.
Mm-hmm.
And it just kind of ruined the moment for me because I kind of wanted to win with an actual map win at the end and not like, oh, we both suck at Chong. So, but yeah, just like that match is my favorite match with how close it was and how literally if any one of us was playing slightly worse, it could have gone either way. And for Smash Bros, it was a ninth place finish at a local. Because at the time, I was only going 0-2 like every single tournament. And all of a sudden I get a win. I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. And I got second win, and that was my goal to go 2-2. So I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I got my win. I'll just like, relax and play. And as you know, when you don't really care about the outcome, you're just relaxing and purely focusing on gameplay, that's when you play best. So I just popped the fuck off and like made it from like 29th place where I would have placed all the way to like ninth. And like I saw the top 8 bracket and every single player there was either top 10 in state or would have been top 10 in state at the previous PR rankings. So I'm not mad that I lost to somebody who's like ranked 6th at the time. I'm like, okay, like, that's fair.
Mm-hmm.
But just like going that far was like what the fuck? Like I could actually like do that. I think that's like the first time I like not the first time I felt good about myself, but during middle school I was heavily like depressed and suicidal and self-loathing and all of that. So the fact that I had one moment where I could feel good about myself just felt fucking amazing.
Yeah, yeah. And most important question, and probably the last one for this one. What is your greatest achievement as a human being?
My greatest achievement as a human being. That I think there's a kind of a story behind this, but as I say, I'm autistic, but like, you know, that comes with you kind of being delayed in school.
Mm,
And I was at a kindergartner's like reading level, math level, all of that in second grade. And when that happened, they were like, yeah, we need to put this person in special ed. And like my mom, when she was trying to get me diagnosed with like what was going on, because I didn't say my first words until I was 6 years old. So it was obvious, like, okay, like there's something going on with him. Uh, a lot of the doctors at the time, because like whether it was fair or due to like, we still don't really know that much about autism in the grand scheme of things.
Mm-hmm.
But especially more back then, it was only like the start of, the Autism Speaks charity, which I could also go on around how that's a dog shit charity and you should only donate it if you hate autistic people, but I'll save that for later. Uh, that kind of like made more people aware that autism exists. So that's like when research really started going. So it's still fairly like a new concept to the public, and the doctors and researchers never really had much experience with it, as even though it was a thing back then, it was a lot rarer of a diagnosis because you had to have very heavy autism. So the doctor said like your son is going to be incapable of being independent, and he is going to have to live by your side for the rest of your life as he is not able to function as a normal adult.
Wow.
And back to like, going into special ed, that's when like I started, growing educational wise and intellectually wise. And a lot of the help, I gotta thank my special ed teacher from fourth to sixth grade, Miss Larson. She's definitely on my list of like people who I'll never forget about and people who's changed my life to such a heavy degree that without them, I do not think I would be where I am today. And sixth grade comes and they're interested in putting me back in normal classes, which was huge. That's not a thing that happens to like anybody really. So
Mm-hmm.
they put me like in some normal classes in sixth grade, like a math and history class, to kind of see like, okay, like, can he actually like not just perform well educational wise, but is, normal classmates gonna give him hell if he incorporates, because
Mm-hmm.
I'm a very, very open person. And even in middle school, I was like, yeah, I'm autistic. And I got a lot of shit for that. Like I
Mm-hmm.
said, it's a very ignorant and dumb time full of a lot of bullshit. So eventually, I had good enough grades in those sixth grade classes where once it was time to go to middle school in seventh grade, I just, you know, was in these normal classes with, quote unquote normal people. And that was like the start of like, okay, like I think like the doctors were wrong and like all of that. I think I could actually like, become an adult if
Mm-hmm.
that makes sense. And it actually worked out. Like I moved out of my mom's house at 18 to live with my brother, and I'm doing fairly well as an independent adult right now. So the fact that I was able to overcome, you know, what people like literal experts thought was like a doomed case is like a huge achievement for me.
Yeah, this is hard story, but good for you. I'm proud of you. So this is amazing. And wow, what a story to end the stream actually. And
Yeah.
and yeah, before I will end the stream, of course, thank you for joining in. It's a pleasure. You're a great human being. It was nice to speak
Thank
to
you.
you. And I want to say that right now, the drawings for RR17 is either already here or might be somewhere else. And yeah, the Red Rival 17 will start tomorrow. Tomorrow will be the first day of it, and Crazy for Daisy is participating in it. So we will look up to see how you will perform, of course, like as a player. And so yeah, good luck on that, actually.
Thank you. Thank you. You as well.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. Yeah, but I'm also not I'm not having high hopes for this, so I will be beat by every single opponent I will be with. So yeah, but for me it's just for fun, so yeah, why not? And for this, for Red Rivals 17, and for you, and for every players, admins, casters, right now I'm having a beer, actually a can of Chinese beer that I want to try.
Oh, hell yeah.
So for everybody, I hope you will hear it. So cheers to everybody, and
Cheers, cheers.
let's start the new season of Red Rivals with some bangers, and I hope it will be amazing. So yeah, thank you everybody. There's who were watching this, and thank you, Crazy for Daisy.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Like, I've always wanted to be interviewed and gotta, kind of experience that. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, with that, I will end my stream. So goodbye, and I will see you probably tomorrow because might be there's might be matches tomorrow. So yeah, once again, thank you and goodbye.